Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Once again, we welcome you all to this Sunday Love Feast program of ISKCON Stouffville, and we are going to begin our journey into the Bhagavad Gita this week again from text 24 of the 9th chapter. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha natumam avijananti tatvena tascha vantite. Text 24, please repeat. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha. Natumam avijananti. Natumam abhijananti. Natumam abhijananti. Natumam abhijananti. Tatvenatas Shavantite. Tatvenatas Shavantite. Shavantite. Okay. We'll read the word for word, read the translation, and then we'll go to get the devotees to chant. Okay? Word for word. Aham, I. He, surely. Sarva, of all. Yajnana, sacrifices. Bhokta, the enjoyer. Cha, and. Prabhu, the Lord. Eva, also. Cha, and. Na, not. Tu, but. Mam, me. Abhijananti, they know. Tatvena, in reality. Ataha, therefore. Shavanti, fall down. They. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation: I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifice. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Translation, please repeat. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Okay, now we'll get the devotees to chant.
Aham hi sarvayajnanam
bhokta cha prabhurev cha.
Natumam abhijananti Tatvenatascha vantite.
Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha. Natumam abhijananti tatvenatascha vantite. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha. Natumam abhijananti tatvenatascha vantite. Chavantite. Okay. Anyone else? Mataji, is anyone else? Everybody can try. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha. न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते
अहम हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते
अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति च्यवन्ति ते तत्त्वेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते Divakar, I heard his voice. अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते तत्त्वेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते Ayansh? अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते Anyone else? अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते
अहं
हि सर्वयज्ञानां
भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु माम्
अभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते Okay. So why do we Hare Krishna Maji, welcome to Stouffville. The reason we chant these shlokas again and again is Pravishta Karnarandrena. When these names or the words of the Lord enter our ears, what happens? Dunoti Shamalam. The Lord says He sits in the core of our heart and He does the scrubbing, the cleaning, the cleansing, right? So all you're doing is just chanting, but actually there's so much work going on in our heart. Right? So let's go on to read the transcendental purport of Srila Prabhupada. Here it is clearly stated that there are many types of yajna performances recommended in the Vedic literature. But actually all of them are meant for satisfying the Supreme Lord. That's point number one. Yajna means Vishnu. Yajna means Vishnu. In the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that one should only work for satisfying Yajna or Vishnu. The perfectional form of human civilization known as Varnashrama Dharma is specifically meant for satisfying Vishnu. Therefore, Krishna says in this verse, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices because I am the Supreme Master. Less intelligent persons, however, without knowing this fact, worshipped demigods for temporary benefit. Therefore, they fall down to material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired result. That's it. Such a beautiful verse by the Lord. This 9th chapter is beautifully placed in the middle of the entire Bhagavad Gita, right? This chapter is considered to be the most confidential knowledge. Hare Krishna. It is the most confidential knowledge, and Krishna has put it in the center. That means this chapter is very, very important. And through this verse, he is further describing what happens when we worship the Devatas. Right? Krishna has talked about this before as well. But in this verse, he's elaborating a little bit further. What does he say? He says 2 main things in this verse. Can anyone share what those 2 things are? One,
He is the Yajna Purusha.
Okay, he's the Yajna Purusha.
He is the supreme enjoyer of all yagnas.
He is the supreme enjoyer of all yajnas. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. Prabhu means master and bhokta means one who enjoys. Okay, we got that point clear? And who is the ultimate enjoyer and master of the yajna sacrifices that we do? Lord Vishnu or Krishna, right? So this point has to be very clear. We do so many sacrifices in our life, right? Whether it's the actual yajna being performed in front of the fire, or the sacrifice of time, right? Or the sacrifice of performing, making bhoga for the Lord, right? There are various types of sacrifices, right? And even in the Vedic sacrifices, there are so many, right? You have Ganesha Homa, Ayush Homa, so many homas, right? But what happens? Who's the one who's ultimately receiving the fruit, or who's enjoying the benefit of, or who's receiving the offerings that we're doing?
Vishnu.
Lord Shri Vishnu, right? Is there anyone who differs from this point? Who says that, oh, this is not right? Okay, everyone accepts this point? Okay, let's move forward. Nice. Bhokta cha prabhureva cha, Krishna says. And to elaborate, he also says, one who knows Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam, one who knows that I am the benefactor of all sacrifices, such a person is always in peace. That's the peace verse of Bhagavad Gita. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. Do you want to repeat that? Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. Suhridam, friend of all the living entities. Nyatva Mam Shantim Richati. Nyatva Mam Shantim Richati. So that's what that verse says. So in the purport, Prabhupada says that there are many types of yajna, and the Vedic literature says that these are meant for satisfying Vishnu. And we also know from the 3rd chapter that one who does not perform sacrifices for the pleasure of Vishnu, one who does not offer things to the Lord is verily... Yeah, there are 2 verses. Yajna Shishashana Shanta, Muchante Sarva Kilbishehi, Punjate Te, Togam Papa, Yepachanti Atmakarana. That means one who prepares food verily for sense gratification, that person is verily eating sin. And that is about food. There's Yajnatat, Karma Nonyatra, Lokoyam, Karma Bandhana. All sacrifices, when they are done for the pleasure of the Lord, what happens is, what happens?
Binding removed.
Yes, we are removed from the shackles of this material world. Right? Karma bandhan gets destroyed. Right? That's when we perform sacrifices for the pleasure of the Lord. Anyone has any question? No? Okay. Then Prabhupada further on says that the perfection of human civilization is meant for satisfying Vishnu. Right? The human civilization, obviously we have different categorization of people according to age and according to the type of activities they do, right? But all this is ultimately meant for the satisfaction of Vishnu, right? This is another point, right? So we know from the Shastras that generally what people do, or even in the material world when we see, people do a lot of things to get benefits faster, right? And that's why in the previous verse we learned that they approach the Devatas, and such people are considered to be foolish, less intelligent, right? That's what Krishna says in the previous verse. And in this verse, Krishna is saying that, Lord Shri Krishna is saying that people fall down when they do not know that Krishna is the ultimate benefactor or master of the sacrifices. We know very good examples from Srimad Bhagavatam. 2 kinds of personalities who tried to achieve things, who wanted position that could not be questioned by anybody. Right? A position, the top of everybody, so that nobody will question what they do or what they say. Right? Do you know who they are? Hiranyakashipu. Wow, one voice. Hiranyakashipu. Who's the other? Ravana. Okay. Dhruva Maharaj. Oh yeah, Dhruva Maharaj. Right. There are so many examples, but 2 examples, one Hiranyakashipu and Dhruva Maharaj, we know that they worked towards something that is unachievable by many, and finally they did achieve it. Did they or not? Yes. But to achieve that, the path both of them chose is very different, right? So Hiranyakashipu, as we know, he wanted to destroy Vishnu. He wanted to kill Vishnu, right? And because of that, he did ghor tapasya. He did such tough penances and austerities he took upon himself, right? After doing such austere, sadhanas of doing so much of penances, stopping his life here, and finally getting the boon from Lord Brahma, he thought that's the best way. I need to get it from Brahma, right? Because he is the Karta, Dharta, creator of this whole universe. So therefore, I must get he's the right person for me to get my boon from, right? Because he has the ultimate knowledge and he has the know-how how to do things. So he's the right person to give me everything. So he approached Brahma, right? And he did penances, austerities, and Brahma gave him everything except one thing. What is that? Immortality. He said, I cannot give you immortality because I myself have to be born again. Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartinojana. Anybody from the smallest ant to the biggest personality in this material world, Brahma, has to be reborn again, right? So Brahma, it was not within his capacity to give that boon, but he's for everything else. He said, Tathastu, Tathastu, Tathastu. And Hiranyakashipu, how did he get it? He got it, he did big calculations. Right? He did so much of calculations to get a boon close to immortality. Right? But you see what happened despite doing all of this. For that petty material happiness of being able to rule over the devatas, he was able to control. After achieving all of this, he was able to control the devatas. How many devatas are there? 33 crore devatas. So many people. 33 kodi devagal in they say in Tamil. In English, you all know how much it is, right? So that many devatas were under the control of one Hiranyakashipu. But that Hiranyakashipu could not control one person in his house. His son, right? Why so? Because his son was devoted to the supreme control of this world, right? And that was his biggest pain point. He achieved everything. He thought that was the ultimate thing. He was so happy momentarily. And then what happened? There came his son, a 5-year-old boy, who was not within the control of the person who was controlling the entire universe, right? And this brought him the greatest distress, greatest irritation, because I'm not able to control this 5-year-old kid, right? He is my son, yet he has gone and surrendered to my enemy, right? So you see, Hiranyakashipu's example is something similar to our life. We work so hard in our lives trying to achieve things so that we will become happy. But ultimately what it leads us to is distress, right? The moment we decide to run after happiness in our life, a package of sadness walks in too, right? Because we don't know for a fact that the quotas of happiness and distresses are already packaged in our life the moment we come into this world. Right? But we're all working hard like donkeys and running after things that we're not meant to actually work for. What is this human form of body meant for? Atato Brahma Jignasa. Right? To realize the Lord, to question ourselves. We all think we are in spirituality, but when the moment we don't realize who we are, who the Supreme Lord is, and what we ought to do in this material world, then we're actually fooling ourselves. Right? We get up in the morning, do so much of prayers, puja, everything we do. But if we don't understand who's the Lord, who's the one who we are supposed to please in this world, who we are, the Jiva that we are actually eternal servants of the Supreme Absolute Truth. But if we are not serving the Lord in this lifetime, then we are actually fooling ourselves. Any question, Arul Prabhu? No. Are we fooling ourselves or not in that situation?
We didn't realize that point of time. We don't realize.
Yes, most often, because the Shastras give us this knowledge, and only fortunate people get access to Shastras, the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the books that have been left for us by the Acharyas. Only fortunate people get access to these books, and that too only by the mercy of the Vaishnavas. So, anytime that anyone reaches out to you and says, come, let's study the glories of the Lord, think that has been sent to you by the Lord Himself. It does not happen to everybody. That opportunity is not given to everybody, right? So take that opportunity as, 1 in a million opportunity that you might get, like this $1 million lottery that you might get, right? Yes. Dhruva Maharaj also had a similar interest as Hiranyakashipu. And what was that? He wanted to attain a kingdom bigger than his great-grandfather. And who was his great-grandfather?
Brahma.
Brahma, the creator of this entire universe, right? He had this thought, and then he immediately approached his mother, right?
Bigger than his father or his grand?
His great-grandfather,
Great-grandfather.
right? So the moment he approached his mother, what did his mother say? Oh, my dear son, right? The great sages, they worship Narayana, who's the bestower of all benedictions. You do not have to go to anybody. Just go worship the Lord, right? So this was the instruction given. And even his other mother, stepmother, said, oh, go ask the Supreme Lord to be born into my womb so that you'll be eligible to sit on your father's lap, right? So he was directed in the right way to go inquire into the absolute truth by first his parents, right? That becomes a duty of every parent, to direct your child to the right person, to do the right thing, right? If we don't set the right example, then our children will also follow in the wrong footsteps. That's why acharyas like Narad Muni, he guides here. Dhruva next meets Narad Muni, because he has that desire. Oh, my mother told me, go look for Narayana. So with that thought, he's going, and then Krishna is sending him Narada, who guides him further. First, Narada thinks, okay, Narad Muni thinks that, okay, this boy is small, let me dissuade him. He tests his patience and determination, right? But he's so irresolute in his determination that he continues. He said, whether you help me or not, please allow me to go in this path, okay? So, Narad Muni, knowing the irresolute nature of his decision, sends him, gives him the mantra and sends him. So, Narad Muni is like the mother who always gives us a right direction, right? If we approach anybody, right, anybody XYZ, they will give you the quickest solution for you, because you're not dear to them. But for your parents, you're very dear, right? So similarly for a guru, right? Narad Maharshi being the guru of many, and also he's born of Brahma, right? He got the form of Narada through devotional service, right? So he's being the guru, he directs us in the right path. Whereas the devatas, they have a job. What is their role? They're supposed to take care of this material nature, the functioning of this material nature under the supervision of the Lord, right? So to make sure the world goes on as it should, they just keep granting boons. But it is not that they will not give us Krishna Bhakti. But because we seek something else, they're granting us, oh, this child is asking me for this, let me give, right? That Maya Devi, who is the controller of this universe on behalf of the Lord, she helps us cross over this material nature the moment we surrender to the Lord, the moment we seek her shelter and say that we want to be able to serve the Lord. Oh Devi, please help us. So it is only because our desires are so positioned towards them, or that's the desire we seek from them, they give us that immediately, right? Your question was, why do they not give us Krishna Bhakti? Because we do not ask them for Krishna Bhakti.
So each devata is defined to give few things as per Vedic literatures.
Yes, that is their role.
You approach this Devi devata for this, right?
Yes.
So technically Vedas are teaching us about the roles of these Devi devatas.
That is their role, but the Vedas also tell us that what is the ultimate purpose of everything that exists, right? The Lord states in the 15th chapter of the Gita that from all the Vedas, who's to be known? I am to be known. Sarvasya chaham hridi sarnivishto matasmritir jnanam apohanamsya vedescha sarve ahameva vedyo vedantakrit veda vedeva chaham. From all the Vedas, I am to be known. I am the compiler of Veda and I am the knower of all the Vedas, right? So Krishna is to be known through all the Vedas, And the duty of all of these 33 crore devatas is to assist all the jivas in this process. But in what is assistant? They're also doing a screening of all of the jivas. Right? The moment there's this beautiful thing that we often say that to the extent we surrender, to the extent our inclination is towards the Lord, the intensity of our inclination to serve the Lord is what helps us go ahead in the path of devotion. So, yeah, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham, right? According to your surrender, Krishna rewards accordingly, right? So, for Dhruva Maharaj, it so happened he got, because his desire was so sincere, even though it was materially motivated, he got the right direction and he was one-pointedly worshipping the Lord. Here is Hiranyakashipu. He had the same desire as Dhruva Maharaj, but he worshipped a Devata. And here is Dhruva Maharaj, who had the same desire as Hiranyakashipu, and he worshipped Lord Narayana. Right? The benefits they derived. What happened to Hiranyakashipu's benefit? It gave him happiness immediately. He achieved so much that he wanted, but it brought him sadness later. Whereas Dhruva Maharaj, what happened to him? He realized as soon as he had the darshan of the Lord, Kachan Vichadvan, what I have been asking for, pieces of broken glass, but what I have is Api Divya Ratnam. I've got a gemstone, I've got a jewel. I will not let this go. That is the darshan of the Lord. Right? How many of we think once we have the darshan of the Lord, He is my all. All my worship, all my activities should be directed to Him. How many of us actually think that? Or do we think that, oh, He's there, but let me also worship XYZ so that for now, these things will be solved for me, and when this is solved, I will spend some time to worship Him. Right? So our mindset is so focused on temporary benefits and temporary rewards that we fail to realize what reality is. And what is that reality? The acharyas say. What is reality?
Supreme personality of God.
Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Kevalashtakam says that the holy name of the Supreme Absolute Truth is reality. Because the holy name of the Lord is not different from the Lord. So that Ashtakam says that that is reality. There's no other reality in this world. You're all correct. The Supreme Absolute Truth, Sri Krishna, Vasudeva, Hari, He is the reality. Right? But we fail to see reality because our eyes are tainted. Our eyes are covered with the curtain of Maya. Our eyes are covered with immediate temporary benefits that we are looking for. Right? Kunti Devi prays and says that, Maya Javani Kachanam, Akhya Doshijamavayam. Because of ignorance, my eyes are covered. Right? And how do we lift up this curtain of ignorance? By studying the Shastras, by associating with the devotees, right? By hearing the glories of the devotees of the Lord from the Shastras. Satam prasangam mamavirya samvido bhavanti kritkarna rasayana kata. Satam prasangam. Hear the glories of the Supreme Absolute Truth in the association of devotees. And what happens when you do that? It may sound like we are reading the same thing again and again. It may seem like we are hearing the same thing again and again. But every time you read these things, what happens is you get different emotions that you get evoked in your heart. So these are things for us to look into, right? Not just come here, hear, and go back. You have to analyze, you have to look into yourself, introspect, right? This is something that we must do, right? Most often what the acharyas say is that a prayer is what helps us do that introspection. We offer so many prayers every day, from Guru Ashtaka to the Narsimha Pranama. So many prayers that Prabhupada has instituted this ISKCON for us to help us do this. Right? Krishna came in different yugas, in different avatars to help us connect to Him. Right? But in this Kali Yuga, He came in the form of Mahaprabhu, Krishna. Not in the blackish form, but He came in the golden form. And what did He give us? Krishna Prema. He gave us Krishna Prema, that Prema which we get by chanting the holy names of the Lord. And what is the holy name of the Lord?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
God, I think we are going in it's not a daily. A daily goes very fast, right? We are going in a very leisurely, super slow train. Rajdhani is also fast, they say. Srila Prabhupada says that our cry to him, our prayers to him has to be like the cry of the child who wants the attention of the mother immediately, right? Let's all chant Hare Krishna one more time together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mahaprabhu, who is an incarnation of the Lord, he said, "O Lord, without you, Govinda virahena me." What is that shloka? There's another shloka that Kunti Maharani says, Ke vayam nama rupabhyam, right? Yadavi sa Pandavaha, right? She says that all the name and fame, Prabhu, you want to chant? Okay, sorry. All the name and fame the Pandavas have gotten is only there as long as it is associated with the Lord, right? Otherwise, who are we, right? In this material world, we are all hankering for name, fame, position, like Hiranyakashipu, right? And we think that once we've achieved all of this, we're going to be happy. That is the ultimate thing, right? But the wise, they know that it is not. Right? That's why they say, no, you should listen to your elders who have experienced so many things in life because they have some sort of knowledge. But the way that these wise people share knowledge, when you're in that position of life, it should be to help us connect to the Lord. Bhagavatam says that you cannot be a good teacher or a good guru or a good mother or a good wife or a good husband if you cannot deliver your dependent, right? So that is a huge responsibility.
If you can't liberate them,
Yes.
you should not get married and get children.
Yeah, so if you cannot deliver your dependent, don't take that position in life, right? If you have children, you must be able to direct them to the Lord. If you have a husband, you must be able to direct the husband. No, it's the other way around. The husband has to direct the wife. Right? If you are a guru of somebody, you must be able to direct your disciples to the Lord, right? These important positions in life are to be held only if you are capable of guiding these people into Krishna consciousness, a life of Krishna consciousness, right? Let's go to the other point that Prabhupada said and complete today's session. Prabhupada says, towards the end of the purport, less intelligent persons, however, without knowing the fact, worship the demigods for temporary benefits. So this fact has been cleared that devatas, they award us benefits very quickly, very lucrative benefits, but they are very short-lived. They bring us distress. It is not that they want to give us distress, but happiness always comes with a package of distress. Right? When is distress not distress any longer? When you take the shelter of the Lord. When you begin serving the Lord, even the most painful situation will seem very happy. Right? Many of us do take austerities. We fast on certain days, right? And that fasting, if it is not done with love for Krishna, it may seem like a hardest thing, right? A very difficult thing. But the moment you do it with love for Krishna, it becomes so easy, right? So anything, if you bring Krishna to the center of life, it becomes easy and you'll get everlasting happiness, right? And Prabhupada further says that if, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray to the Supreme Lord for it, right? And he will achieve the desired result. Akama sarva kamova moksha kamo daradihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether you have a desire, whether you have no desire, or you have desire for liberation, or you're filled with so many desires, right? Approach the Lord. He'll give you everything. Because where are these devatas getting the, strength to give you the rewards?
From the Supreme.
It's all coming from the Supreme Lord, right? So just approach the Lord and He'll give you the right thing. Like Sunny Prabhu asked us this question. Why are they giving us, XYZ benefits? Why can't they give us Krishna Bhakti, right?
Well, we are asking that.
Yes. But if you approach the Lord with whatsoever desire you have, Krishna will direct you in the right manner. Right? Because you're very dear to Him. Okay. Does anyone have any question? Any remarks? There are so many jivas. Right? How many type of living entities exist?
400,000.
8,400,000. 8.4, right? And human beings are supposed to be the topmost, right? So recently, our Krishna Maji went to Tirupati and came, right? How many of you been to Tirupati? Okay, so many of you been to Tirupati. And how many of you stood in the queue for like 6 hours, 7 hours, right? And then how many of you noticed that there are some VIPs who just enter just like that? Right? You're all waiting there 6 to 7 hours, but there are some VIPs who just cross the line and go, right? So, human beings are like those VIPs. Huh? All the jivas are waiting to get access to have darshan of the Lord, or for waiting for that moment where they can get darshan of the Lord. But here are some few people who just cross that line and get the opportunity to have the darshan of the Lord. But what do we do when we have that, the most opportune human form of life? We just take a U-turn and come back to the same line that all the jivas are standing, right? Because we don't understand the value of that human form of life. Instead of taking darshan of the Lord, we question X, Y, Z. Instead of using the opportunity we have to study and further understand how can I better my devotional service, how can I surrender to the Lord, how can I be sincere in whatever I do, even though it might be the smallest thing. Instead of spending time to do that, we focus on the unwanted things, what is not really required. Because that's how our mind is. It is like a monkey. It does not allow us to stick to what we ought to stick. It just jumps from one place to another. It just derails our focus. Right? And that is exactly why Sani Prabhu has a friend like Anshu Prabhu who can drag him back and say that, oh Prabhu, this is how it is. That's why we have Sadhu Sangha. Right? Sadhus can help us focus our mind and bring us back to the point. It might seem like a slap on your face sometime when a friend tells you something, but they actually mean well for you. Right? So please realize that this human form of life is very, very rare. It is not something that has to be wasted in a futile way. Right? We think that devotional service has to be taken only at the age when we're about to retire, or we'll have sufficient time then. But let me tell you a fact that we don't know when we're going to die. Parikshit Maharaj was very fortunate. He focused himself those 7 days and 7 nights without eating, drinking, thinking any other thoughts, but only the thought about Krishna. And why was he able to do this? Because he was blessed by the Lord from the time he was in his mother's womb, and blessed by the sadhus through his life, that he was able to be focused. He got a great guru who spoke the Bhagavatam from his heart. Right? How many of us are going to get this opportunity? We just come every Sunday, do our thing, and do our other thing, right? And then go back into the cycle that we're in. These stories of the Lord, the words of the Lord, need not be OHT for us. If you don't understand something, why do you think I stopped so many places today? To make sure that these points are clear in our hearts. From today's verse, we understood that the master of all sacrifices, the bhokta of all sacrifices, the enjoyer of all sacrifices is only Lord Vishnu or Lord Shri Krishna. Right? And anyone who does not understand this merely falls back into the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Right? Punarapi Jannam, Punarapi Maranam. Right? So therefore, we must take shelter of the holy names of the Lord, shelter of the lotus feet of the sadhus, shelter of the holy texts like Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we must utilize every single day that we have as though it were our last day. One point that you take away from today's class is, it will be really nice for the benefit of everybody.
Time is valuable, do not waste it.
Okay. Pitambu says, time is valuable, do not waste it. Okay, I heard another voice.
Krishna is the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices, otherwise follow.
How do we practically Quickly apply that point. Chant the holy name of the Lord like a child cries for the mother, right? Someone else spoke here.
So the drivers, when they miss the U-turn,
Yeah.
they have to go for a long drive and come like
Absolutely,
that.
yes.
Yeah, and if we miss this human form,
We don't know if you're going to get the human form of life in the next birth, so please use this human form of life that you have in the best possible way. Prahlad Maharaj said that it is meant to be used in the service of the Lord, right? In the process of self-inquiry, right? Take the opportunity to associate with the sadhus early morning through japa, through Srimad Bhagavatam study, in the evenings through Chaitanya Charitamrita study and Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita reading. Take opportunity, volunteer yourself for seva, book distribution, making bhoga for the Lord. Right? There are so many sevas and very few hands. We want this holy name and the mercy of the Lord to spread into every nook and corner of Stouffville at least within our reach. Right? And each one teach one. Thank you everybody for your patient hearing. Let's chant the shloka one more time before we before we end. Someone pick up the verse and we will all repeat after you. Lakshmi Mataji. 9.24.
those who have not recited.
Yeah, she didn't recite, so that's it.
Lakshmi Priya Mataji or Lakshmi Nadar Mataji?
Lakshmi Mataji.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam
Bhukta cha prabhureva cha Natuma vijananti Tattvenatascha vantite. Translation.
I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
Those who do not recognize Lord's true transcendental nature fall down. Just highlighting on transcendental. What does transcendental mean?
Going above and beyond.
Going above and beyond, above the three modes of material nature. He's not affected by what we are affected. Right? We are all affected by the three modes of material nature. The Lord being the master of the three modes of material nature, He is not affected. Right? We humbly request all of you to take up to the study of Bhagavad Gita. We're trying to chant the verses of Bhagavad Gita on Ekadasis. It's a new effort that we are putting in. Sukirani Maji is helping us with the seva. So on the 14th, I believe, is the next Ekadashi. We will be meeting up. We will chant from the 9th chapter because we are on that chapter. So please join us and we will post a message on the group. Thank you. Let's all chant Hare Krishna and today's discussion. Yes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,